Welcome aboard, it's Captain G with the end of game wrap up with our test of Global War 1939 Ultra. So we'll start with the Italians, turn 9, so they get point 1. And on turn 9, they made a massive attempt into Cairo, and the 8th Army was able to hold them off. Heavy losses on pretty much all of their ground troops, but their bomber fleet survived for another day. Point 2 is in the Atlantic. The Kriegsmarine moved down and took out the American fleet and the Soviet fleet, chasing after the transports, which had escaped to Gibraltar. Point 3 over here, the 2nd Panzer Army, the 9th Army, which has now been consolidated, and the Axis miners captured Novosibirsk. We think that if the Soviets had built a fortification here instead of extra infantry, that may have helped them, but there's still a ton of Axis armor in this territory that was supported by all of these tactical bombers for the combined arms bonus. So that was Germany's turn here. For Japan, having wiped out the KMT last turn, they finished off the CCP army. They haven't fully conquered all of China. There's still one CCP, one KMT territory, but effectively they have control. And they're facing off against anything that the Soviet guerrilla force, basically, because they have no economy, no factory, no capital, could do to threaten Japan. So that was point 4. The other thing they did was they pulled some of their amphibious task force around and took out the combined Soviet Anglo force in southern Iran. That secures all of the Middle East to Axis control, and it restored to Italy their bonus. Germany doesn't get a bonus, Japan doesn't get a bonus, but as long as it's under Axis control, Japan secured that bonus for Italy, is 0.5. For 0.6, then, it went to the end of the round. The Soviets couldn't do anything. They did nothing. They couldn't buy. They couldn't do anything. So for the British, you'll recall here, there was the Spanish fleet. And when we did our last video, we thought that since the capital had not been activated, pro-Axis, that they would be passive. But essentially, the American and British fleets would be passing through a sea zone that was hostile to them because they are at war with Spain. So the committee met and reviewed and decided that this fleet would defend the sea zone. So the British used air and subs to clear this sea zone, allowing their transports to move up. And then the balance of their air did an attack against the Italian Navy. They did not clear the second sea zone. They did clear the Spanish one, but they did not clear the coast off of Rome. So the British task force were stuck here in this sea zone. Then on America's turn, able to now move through the sea zone, the Americans sent air and could not clear the Italian fleet. So they also are stuck here. All of their transports and that force that was headed towards Rome was not able to make it. Could they have taken it? I don't know. The Italians could have built more, but we didn't bother with builds on the final turn because it wouldn't matter at this point. So the Allies fell short in retaking, which they had to do because the Axis had 13 victory cities. The other thing that the Americans did in the Pacific, again, not affecting any victory cities, their bomber that was here in the Philippines hit this task force, took out the aircraft carrier that was here, and was going to eat into these transports, but one of them rolled a 1 and shut down the aircraft carrier. So the American bomber. And then the Japanese, on their last turn, had done some clearing. There's basically 2 American ships in the Pacific, and that's it. Because the Japanese had also taken out the Anzac transport to prevent sniping of any victory cities and then reinforced those cities. So the final battle of the game was the Second Battle of Cairo, and the 8th Army, which we still have most of the dead over here on our homegrown battle board. Obviously the American dead was the air, but what was left of the 8th Army got wiped out. All of these Italian heavy bombers, tactical bombers, medium bombers rather, all that was lost. Just 1 Italian light armor captured Cairo, and that secured a 14th victory city for the Axis. And that pretty much ends the game. We're stopping at turn 10 with 14 victory cities in the Axis. Germany and Japan and Italy combined make more money than the Americans and what's left of the British economies that are producing IPP. Overall, we had a lot of fun. We want to thank Triple Crown for inviting us to join the playtests, and for CB's Bill and some of the other folks who made comments and pointed out rules issues during our play. And I understand now that Triple Crown's going to go back and review and clean up, and maybe we'll do some more play testing. TBD, we'll wait to hear on what's next. Overall, very positive, thumbs up. Love the changes, love the new units, love the additions to the game. Love the fact that we get to keep the same map that we already have. So with that, this is Captain G and Eggman saying over and out.